A big howdy once again from your favorite Texas traveler. This video is a little different from my first couple because let's face it, we can't always be a beautiful supermodel like some of our outstanding national parks. Some of our parks are great because they are close by and they don't come with the crowds of people and long lines of cars. Today I'm taking you to a hidden gem nestled in southwest Colorado. This will always be a special place to me because it was my second stop in my first 7-day solo camping trip to Colorado. If we head west of Durango on Highway 160 and then north of Dolores on Highway 1445, we will find some great camping along Highway 38 along the West Dolores River. Mavreeso is right off the road, but very quiet and secluded. Even if the campground is packed, you will probably not notice. The park is surrounded by large pine and spruce trees, and most sites have a great view. I have several campsite recommendations, but you will have to put up with the constant sound of a rushing river. Somehow coffee tastes better, the stars are brighter, and the sleeping is better next to a rushing creek. If you enjoy peace and quiet, a nice view, and an opportunity to explore, Mavreeso may be your next destination. As you enter the campground, the electrical sites are to your right. There is a group campsite at Mavreeso, and there is a bathroom. The bathrooms themselves are accessible. However, getting up to the bathrooms was a little bit of a challenge. If you're in a manual chair, it would be hard. The path is a little steep and a lot of gravel. Campsite number 1 is a small campsite, but it's all blocked off by boulders, which makes accessibility hard. It is a nice site. Both sites 2 and 3 are also small, so you need a small trailer to pull back into those, but they are along the creek and nice sites. Site number 4 is a nice campsite. Not a large driveway, but it's easily accessible. Campsite number 5 is the site I stayed at. It's a pull-through. It's along the river. Has large trees, and I'll have more details on this site there. Even though you see the boulders preventing vehicles from getting through, I could get my wheelchair through there, no problem. Site number 6 is next to it, and it's a large campsite at the very end of the campground. But the slope down to the picnic table is rather steep, so be prepared for that. Site number 7 is a small pull-in site. The picnic area and camp area is pretty small. It is next to the bathroom, which has potable water available. Campsite 8 is a short pull-in with a very small campsite. Number 9, and it was a nice site there. Again, short trailers are going to fit this campground better. As you can see, the view to the campground, or from the campground, is quite spectacular. You look up a hill, you've got the creek running down below. It's just a beautiful area. Site 10 begins the electric area. You can see a short pull-in area there. This duck flew by every morning and every night. Campsite 11 was one of my favorites. It's at the far end of the campground, and it sits under a giant pine tree. You can see some of the aspen in the background, and it borders right along the river. It's a pull-through, has a picnic table, and is a great campsite because it's so big and it has access to the river. Here you can see the rocky shore and the footpath that goes down to it. I believe if I had my Freedomtrax, I could go down that slope there and actually fish in the river there. This looks back at the campsite. You can see how big and wide it is. Site 12 is down by the river, but it's a relatively small site. Site number 13 is also by the river, but it's pretty small as well and has some obstacles and kind of an uneven campsite. Site 14 is a pull-through. Campsite area there is a little bit small, but it borders the river. If you're a tent camper, it would be good. Sites 15, 16, 17, and 18 were all in a row here. Your typical pull-through sites, not a lot of room, just picnic table. People living in their RVs, not getting out much. If you like adventure, it's a short drive to the Telluride area, which is pretty spectacular scenery. This is the camp host site. It's right on the right as you pull in. Of course, it's a nice big site. We kept seeing robins sitting around with bugs in their mouth, and as we observed, they were trying to decoy us away from their nest, which was full of little ones. It was fun to see Mom and Dad at work. I came here specifically for the river, and it did not disappoint. Here's a tour of my setup in my Portomobility chair, going through the campground. Got my solar panels out since I'm on the non-electric side. It's my little Intech Pursue. You can see there's enough space between the boulders to be able to get through. We've got our pull-out kitchen and basically a bed that we sleep in inside. Since we can't really count on the picnic tables, we usually bring our own portable tables. We have these great big trees, sprinkled a couple of times, but sometimes the ground doesn't even get wet. Even though it is a dirt campground, I was able to move around in my wheelchair fairly easy. There were some areas that were kind of thick. There's my stove, cooktop area there. Keep all my gear in camp boxes, so it's less trips to pack and unpack the trailer. When you're in a wheelchair, you got to be efficient. And you can see my footstool out there by the creek. That's where I eat my breakfast, drank my coffee, and just sat there and watched the ducks fly up and down the river, and actually saw a couple of trout rise to take some flies in some of the deeper areas along the creek there. I found this campsite to be fairly accessible. However, keep in mind I'm in a Ranger Portomobility chair. It's a little power chair with a 20-mile range on it. I like to use it when it's flatter ground and I don't have a lot of obstacles. I can maneuver quickly, get a little bit closer to the trailer to transfer. The campsite itself, there were some deep areas of just pine needles and dirt. If you were in a manual chair, it'd be a little bit tough, but it was flat. And, this site and most of the sites, except for the one, number 6 next to me, were flat. You didn't have to worry about rolling down a hill or anything. But it was just a beautiful area, and I had good company. I apologize for all the squirrel pictures. This guy sat there, posed for me all different ways. I took probably 50 shots of him. Couldn't resist. He was begging me to take more. I finally told him enough is enough. He can't have my peanuts. This is my Intech Flyer Pursue. We've had really good luck with it. I would recommend it. It's got the rhino rack and the canopy that comes out. Got the toolbox on the front. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Hopefully the detailed campsite videos will help you find the campsite that's best for you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. I like to do the big parks and the little parks so everybody has an opportunity to see where they might fit in and where they might enjoy visiting Mother Nature. Until next time, so long and thank you for your time.